Robert Heffernan with Endotech, exclusively for the Pareto Network and Endotech subscribers. This is Blockchain Vitals, and it's our weekend edition. I need that graphic, all right? I need to see the weekend banner come across. I am a master endotechnician, technical analysis. That's what I know. Now firmly in the matrix trading cryptos. And since cryptos never sleep, they trade 24/7, 365 days a year. You need to know what the heck is going on Saturday and Sunday for the trade. And everybody else takes the weekend off. Endotech, we still put forth actionable trading information 24/7, 365 days a year. Part of that is our Blockchain Vitals technical analysis sheet, available at endotech.io. And I'm going to take the vitals here in just a second. But first, we do the rounds every day. So let's do it, doing the rounds. A little segment where I talk about what I'm seeing in the crypto sphere, cryptocurrencies, what's making headlines. And also, I also use this segment to call out people to express my opinion on their opinion. And I'm going to do that too. But first, a nice article today about Bitcoin as a solution to what the article says, the brewing global economic crisis. Basically saying that central banks, what they know how to do is create debt and print money. And in varying forms of doing this, there's varying forms of success. But basically, the whole thing's a Ponzi scheme. And at some point, the debt burden is just too much. They print money, inflation ensues, and you have a complete meltdown. We've seen it in Venezuela. We've seen it multiple times in different places in Africa. We've seen it, believe me, I was in the Mexican peso pit in Chicago at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange when Brazil did that in '99. Anyway, he makes an impassioned argument. This was Admir Tulik. That Bitcoin can be the savior for humanity in the economic system. Now, a lot of people say that, well, Bitcoin is just a Ponzi scheme too, but it's a Ponzi scheme that everybody knows what the rules are. It is transparent, it is decentralized, and there is a constant argument and battle going on about the ecosystem. And most of the time, the argument is centered around keeping the system transparent, decentralized, more equitable for all participants, instead of, not being transparent, and central bankers in closed doors just inflating currencies, creating debt out of thin air. And it's a system that hopefully we can evolve away from and out of. And save lots of people the tragedy of losing their asset value because of inflation and or just general out of control government entities. Anyway, it was a great article. I enjoyed reading it, and it said something to me about, maybe, just maybe, Jamie Dimon, that Bitcoin is the thing that unseats the legacy financial systems in the world. And we come about a more equitable, more transparent financial system for everyone. The other one thing I wanted to talk about, and this was a tweet, and let's bring it up on screen here, from Tone Vase. And I've read a lot of his tweets. I've listened to a bunch of his stuff. But this, I had a little problem with this tweet, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, the tweet, trading Bitcoin to examine the recent Bitcoin $1,000 crash. No surprise to all that everyone that got wrecked is blaming Wall Street and manipulation instead of learning proper TA, meaning technical analysis, that told you for weeks this is a dead cat bounce. First of all, if Goldman comes out with news that, and by the way, they might even be thinking this, they just didn't say this, they're playing, because this is a big boy game. They might even have the trading room set up. We're not going to open a trading room yet, they said. The trading room might, for all we know, is already built. They could have said, we're going to open a trading room. We're thinking by Q2 of 2019, we're ready to go. But the regulation landscape isn't clear enough for us to jump in. And maybe if they give a date on when they're going to open it, they're going to open a trading room. Believe me, they're going to open a trading room. All right, but if they make that statement, maybe the market flies. First of all, let's get back to the tweet. For weeks, this is a dead cat bounce. All right, I have been in trading pits for the better part of 3 decades. And I know what a dead cat bounce looks like. A dead cat bounce means you do not move more than 1% or 2% off of your lows. That's why they call it a dead cat bounce. All right, when you drop a cat from 10 stories up versus a Super Bowl, right, there's a difference between the way both of those objects bounce. A dead cat splats and stays there. A Super Bowl hits and maybe it goes up 2 stories from 10 stories. There's a difference. And what we've seen over the past couple of weeks wasn't a dead cat bounce. In fact, when I listened to Tone's YouTube, he started out by saying this was actually in daily buys before this thing melted down with the news. And then he went on to explain that he's not a buyer of Bitcoin yet because, like 2014, it hasn't taken out his long-term monthly trend line. First of all, I went back to the 2014 chart. I agreed it looks fairly similar. But looking at the chart now on the weekly and a monthly, I think it's violated most of those longer-term trend lines, to be frank with you. And the fact is, here's the fact. If you're a monthly trader, there is a certain amount of market participation you are going to miss until you get a signal on a monthly. The art of trading is to understand, is to first of all define what time frame you're trading over, and then understanding the risk and the rewards that give you in that time frame. And then the real art to it is melding daily, weekly, monthly charts together to see a real total picture of the relative health or sickness of a market. And believe me, at the beginning of the week, the way this thing was set up, Goldman puts out positive news. We fly. We absolutely fly. And so I just got a real problem with the dead cat bounce and the proper technical analysis, and that's why I hate trend lines, because I drew this trend line off of this top and this top, and you drew the trend line off of this top and this top. Whose trend line's right? I mean, it's a bunch of mental masturbation as far as I'm concerned. I like sticking with the momentum model. All right, and we're going to go over that momentum model because it's real clear to me in this market what's going to happen going forward, depending on Sunday's close and Monday's opening, which is, one is the other. Sunday night's close is Monday's opening in Asia. So there, it's the opening and the close all at the same time. But anyway, where the market is very important for me to make trading decisions Sunday night / Monday morning in Asia to see where we go from here. All right, so let's take the vitals. And before we do that, I got to say goodbye to the YouTube crowd, because you need to be an Endotech subscriber or Pareto token holder in order to get the actionable trading content at endotech.io. Tone, though, thank you so much for what you're doing. You really are an ambassador for crypto, and I totally appreciate that. I'd love to debate with you sometime on TA, technical analysis, and dead cat bounces. And maybe we'll, take a dead cat. We could use, a stuffed animal and drop it off of a couple-story building and show the viewers how a dead cat bounces versus a Super Bowl. And by all of my experience, the rally in Bitcoin was not a dead cat bounce. That's just me. I could be wrong. All right. We got to say goodbye to YouTube.